Well, today we're looking at a couple of more Viewmaster sets, and these are ones from Doctor Who. So as we said before, Viewmaster's been out for years. I think they came out in the 50s, I want to say. Might even have been earlier. And then they quickly latched onto licensed property sales. And then in the early 80s, the BBC decided to sort of license out the Doctor Who property for Viewmaster to do a couple of sets on. These came on, I haven't got the original backing cards, but these came on sort of various forms. You had the hanging set like this is Star Trek motion picture, but they also did certainly Full Circle. They might have done Castrovalva in a boxed set where you actually got the Viewmaster with it as well, because I used to have that one back in my early, I must have bought it new in the early 80s, and it just went over the years. So the two sets we've got are, as I said, they originally did one from Full Circle, which is a season 18 Tom Baker show, 4-episode serial, and it introduced Adric. I can understand why they picked this out of season 18, because it does have some monsters in it, in the Marshmen, as you'll see later on when you see the photos. So I totally understand why they went with this one. Makes perfect sense. These actually, the Viewmaster production people actually went along and they actually used 3D cameras to take the photos of these sets. Some Viewmaster stuff wasn't. It was basically just they would cobble it together. A lot of the sort of the Star Treks and that. Star Trek, I think they actually took some 3D photos on the sets, but everything else wasn't. But they would cobble them together. But these ones, as far as I'm aware, were actually taken with 3D cameras. So they work really well. Some nice shots. And what I'll do is I'll show you all the shots from Full Circle first, and then the second set, which this is a bit more of a mystery. I sort of understand the reasoning. So Castrovalva was Peter Davison's first story, and I think they'd probably gone with it's a new Doctor. It was heavily publicised. Doctor Who was really starting to get popular again when Peter Davison started, so I can understand him wanting to do a Peter Davison one. But Castrovalva, it really isn't a good story to do. It's very convoluted. Hardly anything happens in it. It's basically just people stood around, old men stood around talking in pastel coloured rooms, which doesn't make for the greatest experience on these Viewmaster sets. Can you imagine if they did one of these for, say, Earthshock or even Visitation? You know, you've got good monsters in it, lovely sets. I mean, there's Peter Davison and Adric staring at something. Yeah, not the most exciting set, but some really good photography on it. So what we'll do, we'll have a look. If you've got any other interesting Viewmaster ones, let me know, and if I've got them, I'll certainly review them. But let's have a look at the slides.